So the scene is set. Slovakia have reached the Euros in the last 3 editions, reached the last 16 in 2016 when they lost to Germany, failed to escape the group at Euro 2020. The only other time they've reached the knockout phase of a major tournament was at the 2010 World Cup, when they reached the last 16 in South Africa but lost to the Netherlands. It is a sensational atmosphere, and Tash Dowie, it's going to be about who deals with the pressure, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely that. It really is. You know, these players, they live for these moments, and these moments don't come around that often. You know, it's one-off games now, it's who can perform the most. They know that the situation now is in their hands. Win the game, simple, you're through.
Can one of these teams grab the initiative and put real pressure on the teams in the other game, because they'll be aware, both Ukraine and Belgium, of what's going on in this game. If you want live commentary of that, by the way, that is over on TalkSport. Every single kick of Euro 2024 heading your way on the TalkSport network. You have to just block it out as a player, don't you? And just try and get on with it.
But you don't. Again, I talk about when I was at Liverpool, we won the title last game of the season, and we were up against 2 other teams for the title. The fans were letting us know, the manager was letting us know it's not easy.
2 teams almost ready for action. I can tell you that Romania in all yellow, their traditional colours, Slovakia in blue. It is an enormous game for both. A point apiece would be enough, given what's already happened in some of the other groups. Of course, we know, for example, that Hungary only got 3 points and Croatia only got 2. So that means that a point apiece for these 2 would see them go through, at very least, as one of the best 4 runners-up. But as we've said, football doesn't always work like that, and for all the cynical talk of a carve-up, both of these managers, Edward Iordanescu and Francesco Calzona, have made it quite clear they're not going to allow that to happen on their watch. It might be a little different going into the final 10 minutes of the contest.
And I think that's what's going to be so fascinating, is that the momentum, tactically, changes might happen, formations might change, and I think this is going to be fascinating to see how these games pan out today.
So it'll be Slovakia to get us underway, as I say, all in blue. They beat Belgium, they faded against Ukraine and lost. What will they come up with here? Romania won their opening game too. They hammered Ukraine 3-0, but then they were beaten by Belgium by 2-0 in a game they competed in very well indeed. Slovakia playing from left to right as we look at it in this first half. Golden sunshine bathing the near side of the pitch. It's in shadow on the far side as we look at it. And all eyes on the pitch in Frankfurt. It has been a big problem in recent games. England had a problem in this stadium against Denmark. And also there were problems when Germany played in this stadium against Switzerland on Sunday night. That is the last thing you want, Tash Dowie.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know as well, I think first goal is going to be key today, Kevin. I really do.
The countdown to destiny for either Slovakia or Romania, or maybe both. They could win the group, these 2, one of them. They could both go through, and a shot straight away from the edge of the area by Slovakia. The ball's bouncing around the Romanian penalty area, transferred the ball in. That could have been a lightning fast start in the opening 10 or so seconds. Slovakia just head forwards, and Romania, as they did against Ukraine, defending very solidly.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what you want. From the off, can you get straight into the opposition's penalty area, put them on the back foot, get the crowd going, and that's what Slovakia have done.
It'll be Pekarik to take the throw from the near side, the right, level with the edge of the Romanian penalty area. There's the smoke of flares in that corner of the ground, the near side, the right. Among some of the Romanian fans, a bit of fire and fury in that corner, and here are Slovakia with early possession, looking to set the tempo and make a statement. They've knocked it back into their own half to the captain Milan Skriniar of Paris Saint-Germain, former title winner with Inter in Italy. And it's played forward by Vavro, looking for the run of Duda from midfield, a very experienced midfield three for Slovakia: Duda, Lobotka, Kucka. And now the ball just shy of the centre circle with Slovakia, and Tashdawi, the former England striker, alongside Kevin Hatchard for this one. Romania have barely had a kick so far. Here's Vavro with a high ball towards the left corner of the penalty area. Very strong header away by Andrei Ratiu, the blue-haired right back. And it's rolled back to the goalkeeper, Nita, who made a real mess of the clearance. He got away with that, topped it. Could easily have given it to a Slovakian on the edge of his own area. And Tash, we wondered who'd deal with the pressure. Romania aren't dealing with it very well.
No, they're not. Yeah, and straight away you can see their formation, that 4-1-4-1, making it tight, hard to play through, and it's going to be a game of patience today. Both teams are going to have to be really patient, wait for that moment, and someone needs to be able to come up with that bit of magic, which both teams have.
First time in Euros history that all four teams in a group level on points after two matches. Romania currently top of the group, guaranteed a top two finish if they avoid defeat. Slovakia will secure a top two spot if they win, and will finish third if they draw, with 4 points enough to take them through. The only way Slovakia can be eliminated is if they lose and Belgium draw or win against Ukraine. Got that? I'm not sure.
Absolutely not.
I think I've read it about 50 times and I'm still not sure. Here come Romania down the right-hand side with Ratiu, and he will cross right-footed towards the near post, away by Skriniar. He's the captain of this Slovakian side, the bedrock at the heart of their defence, and was worked down the left-hand side by Strelec, but given away really cheaply. Romania now advanced down the far side, the right, as we look at it, as Marius Marin sends it forward. Now Razvan Marin trying to charge into the penalty area, but again Skriniar is there, but he's lost it to Hadji. It's a right old mess in the opening 3.5 minutes. It is chaotic. No sense of a nice easy draw here.
No, absolutely. Pinball everywhere, and I'm expecting some bigger performance today, especially from the likes of Dubravka and Skriniar, the captain. I actually thought they had quite poor performances last game, so they definitely need to up it. But straight away, Hadji already is getting involved. I was surprised not to see Man on the team sheet. I think he is the one that looks to create a lot, but Hadji, he's the one that I think can really unlock the keys.
And Dennis Mann with 2 assists against Ukraine. The first player to do that in a major tournament game for Romania since the great Georgi Hadji did it in the US World Cup of 1994. And it is Hadji's son Yanis who's come in to replace Dennis Mann today. So a bit of curious history for you. Here comes Slovakia down the right, and they've overrun it. That ball is just helped behind for a goal kick by the big centre-back, Andrei Burka. And with 4.5 minutes gone here on TalkSport 2, it's Slovakia 0, Romania 0.
I have to as well give a shout out to Lobotka. He's probably been one of my players of the tournament so far. I have been obsessed with watching him. So good, never gives the ball away. You see him today, he will be everywhere, wanting to get on the ball, wanting to be brave. If Slovakia are to win this game, he needs to be the one that is dictating play.
A striker admiring a defensive midfielder. What is going on?
Absolutely.
Honestly. Ball drops here to Duda in the centre circle for Slovakia. He's been around the block, Andrzej Duda. He's played a lot of football in Germany, so he should be at home for Euro 2024. He's played for Hertha Berlin, he's played for Köln, had a spell in England with Norwich as well. Now plays his football in Italy with Verona. And it's played forward by Lobotka here to Strelec, and now Duda once again, number 8, but he's given that away cheaply to Radu Dragusin, the Tottenham defender. Forward to Yanis Hadji, who was just dragged back there. Referee Daniel Siebert, who is German, not happy about that, gives the free kick. Over on TalkSport you can hear live commentary of the game between Ukraine and Belgium. That's the other game in this group. And tonight, 2 8 o'clock kickoffs for you. Czechia against Turkey, that's on TalkSport. Georgia against Portugal, that's on TalkSport 2. And Cristiano Ronaldo is going to start for Portugal. That's been made clear by the Portugal boss, Roberto Martinez. It's taken short here by Romania from the free kick. Dragoshin finding Burka, and he just bangs it crossfield, right-footed out to the far touchline, the right. It was a bit too hot to handle for Yanis Hadji. His long dark hair, tried to head it infield, but he's lost it, and now Slovakia have it. They've given away a free kick. Strelec trying to throw his weight around and did so illegally, says the referee.
Yeah, it's a big game for Strelec. So he's come in for Bojanic. Is it Bojanic?
Bojanic, yeah.
Who runs around a lot and he works hard and he's got that energy, but he doesn't really have a goal in him. Whereas he needs to be there. He needs to hold the ball up for the team there. They're going to be under a lot of pressure today. He needs to be on the front foot, ready to be, that pinnacle point for his team.
Nikolai Stanchuk to take this free kick inside right channel, lifts it into the penalty area. It drops down into the box, and that's easy for Martin Dubravka, who is the undisputed number one for Slovakia. He was superb in the qualification campaign, and he had plenty of game time for Newcastle, and he probably wasn't expecting an injury to Nick Pope meant that Dubravka played 30 times for Newcastle. He's been a Slovakian goalkeeper at international level, at senior level, for 10 years now. Very much a reliable figure in this team. Here comes Slovakia down the far side, the left, as we look at it. Haraslin trying to advance. We've not seen much of him so far. High hanging ball into the penalty area, and it's headed behind really smartly as Schranz came in. It was Banku, the left back, who had to get there. It's going to be a corner to Slovakia.
That's almost a carbon copy of one of the goals. Straight away a ball lofted in, and he's so good at getting in them positions. Back post, that's where his header came from last game as well, the game before last, sorry. And he's obviously joint top goal scorer at the moment, Schranz, and he is a real threat for them.
He scored in both games, got the winner against Belgium, got the opener against Ukraine. Nobody scored more than him yet. It's got a slow start in the race for the Golden Boot. It's going to be Lukáš Haraslin, the Sparta Prague player, faced Liverpool in the Europa League. He takes the corner, and the header rather bounced down into the floor by Juraj Kucka, and it's an easy one for the 36-year-old Florin Nita. So two very experienced goalkeepers, Dubravka 35, Nita 36. Here is the left back, Nikoshua Banku, plays his football with Universitatea Craiova. He's been with Universitatea for 10 years actually, as their captain. And that's well run here by Pekarik, the right back for Slovakia. Has picked the pocket of Romania and he tried to get the cross in. It was blocked by Banku. This is really lively.
It really is. I love Pekarik as well. 37 years old. What an engine he has on him, by the way. Up and down, all game long, so reliable. Got a great cross into the box as well. And Slovakia really started this game the stronger of the two.
It'll be a corner for Slovakia on this near side, the right. It is Pekarik's 130th cap. Absolutely remarkable. Plays his football in Germany, so 12 seasons at Hertha Berlin. Haraslin will take right-footed. It's towards the penalty spot, and the volley is over the top at full stretch. It was a rather awkward effort from Hansko. If it had flown in, it would have been a goal for the ages, but it didn't, and it went well over the crossbar.
Yeah, that's the defender taking on that shot. But Haraslin, I think, is a key player as well. I was really impressed with him last game, and what I love about him is he can go inside and outside. Loves to get those early crosses into the box, so the likes of Schranz, Strelec, they really need to be lively. He's a key player for them today.
Nearly 10 minutes gone on TalkSport 2, Euro 2024 action. Slovakia 0, Romania 0. And over on TalkSport, if you want live commentary, it is Ukraine against Belgium, no goals in that one so far. All of these teams locked together on 3 points at the moment. Here's Ratu for Romania, charging forward from right back. He's coming to a central area. He's teed it up here for Banku. The two fullbacks combining. Now Ratiu trying to get into the penalty area, and he's done it! And the curling shot is saved, and on the follow-up from Hadji, the ball goes flying over the crossbar. But Ratiu did so well, tried to bend it inside the far corner, and it's a fine save from Martin Dubravka.
I mean, what a response by Romania, and this is brilliant by Ratiu. He did everything right, to be honest. He's under his feet a little bit there. He's not going to get much power. He's made the keeper make a save. If anything, I'm a little bit disappointed in Hadji's finish. You know, it's on the half volley. It's sat up perfectly for him, and he's thought he'd score before he's hit it, and he's leaned back. That's half a chance.
The main question would be, would his dad have scored? So the answer's probably yes.
I would have scored.
Of course you would. Yeah, that is the spectre that hovers above Yanis Hadji. His father, Georgi Hadji, arguably Romania's greatest ever player. He won 124 caps. He scored a record 35 goals. He was Romanian Player of the Year 7 times. And he was their star at USA 94. Here is Lobotka on the edge of his own area for Slovakia. Had the most gorgeous first touch under pressure there. That was outrageous. But they have lost it here, Slovakia. And it was a surging run through midfield there by the left back Nicoșor Bancu. They are happy to get the fullbacks forward. It's been a real feature of what Romania have done in this tournament so far, and with 12 minutes gone, it's still goalless, but Romania have a free kick.
Yeah, and again, Kevin, that's because Strelic isn't on his toes. It's hard. Being a striker up front, you know, almost in that kind of 4-3-3, but you're a lone striker. You have to always anticipate. You have to be ready to hold that ball up for your team. And again, wasn't there. Now, obviously, opportunity for them to attack.
So what will happen here? Hadji and Razvan Marin stand over it. Marin scored from distance against Ukraine. He's winding up the right foot shot, and it whizzes wide of the target. Martin Dubravka looked really casual there, just jogging across to watch that one whistle wide. He was very calm.
I think he was almost offended that someone thought he could maybe beat him from that type of distance. I mean, yeah, fair play if you've got the thought to even try and take that one from there. And it wasn't miles away, but yeah, absolutely not challenging him there at all.
He was well struck by Razvan Marin. Plays his football for Empoli, who narrowly stayed up in Serie A. Goal in the final moments of the final game in the Italian top flight saw them stay up at the expense of Frosinone. Scored against Andorra in the qualifiers. He doesn't get many. That goal against Ukraine was only the fourth of Razvan Marin's international career. 13 minutes gone in Frankfurt at Euro 2024. Slovakia 0, Romania 0. This is enough for both of these teams to progress. But from what we've seen so far in this game, that is not what they're settling for. They want to win the game, make sure they at least compete to try and win the group, which is possible for either of these teams, depending on what happens in the other game. The space here for Vavro. It's a big, imposing figure at the heart of that Slovakian rearguard. Floats it into the penalty area, nodded down, and it was Dragushin who just instinctively hooked the ball out of the penalty area, and then the clearance is completed by Bancu.
Yeah, that was a really important touch there by Dragushin, and for me, he has been colossal at the heart of that Romanian backline. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't get more minutes for Spurs next season. He has been brilliant. If he didn't get that nick, then it looks like the likes of Schranz was going to get on the end of that.
Ange Postecoglou, his club boss at Spurs, is a pundit at this tournament, so he's at least been watching. I'm sure he'll have been impressed by what he's seen so far. Bit of space for Skriniar, finding Vavro. Plays his football with Copenhagen. Qualified for the last 16 of the Champions League this season at Manchester United's expense. They were beaten by Manchester City in the last 16. Vavro, big part of that. Bit of space here for Kutska, very experienced midfielder. Plays it down the right for Pekarik. Pekarik with the first time cut back and commanded well, coming back there to help out, and just nudges it behind for a corner. Florian needs to try to stop it, but the ball did go out.
Yeah, and again, the momentum, the ebbs and flows, and this I think is what is so exciting about the games happening today. Is that you think nothing's going to come about, but then a goal can come from nowhere, and we've seen that in both of the group stages right now, but Slovakia for me are the ones that really look like they're going to get the first goal here.
Slovakia corner from the near side, the right. Plenty of blue shirts ready to attack this, plenty of yellow shirts ready to defend. Played in by Harasleen. It was excellent work from the goalkeeper Nita, who fisted it away, got good distance on that, and it's back to Skriniar forward now as they just build from the back. Lobotka waiting for options ahead of him. He is the orchestrator, he's the man with the conductor's wand in his hand, just keeping everything ticking for this Slovakian team. 16th minute in Frankfurt. Slovakia in that shaded area, and then it's boomed across too high, goes out for a throw. You're listening to Euro Game Day Live on TalkSport 2, presented by Carling, the UK's #1 lager. 18 plus, please drink responsibly. Slovakia started with that stunning 1-0 win over Belgium, took the lead against Ukraine, went on to lose 2-1. It's their first ever meeting with Romania in a major tournament. Previously played 7 friendlies and 4 Euro qualifiers. Slovakia have only ever beaten Romania once. That was back in 1942. Even I don't remember that one.
Yeah, on paper, Romania are absolute favourites. I think they're beating them 5 times, so they'll fancy it, but they haven't started the brightest for sure.
Well, the ball was played into the Romanian penalty area there, but it was offside. It was Harasleen trying to burst forwards. He is such a dangerous player, scored 3 times in the qualifiers, Lukáš Harasleen, but he went a bit early there.
Yeah, absolutely, and if you look at their last games, it's a very similar story. Slovakia started so strongly against Ukraine last game and then faded towards the end of the game. I think, again, Romania really struggled first half against Belgium, but then grew into the game. This is very similar in the first 20 minutes of this game.
It is Slovakia 0, Romania 0. Nita lofting it long as Romania look to build, look to make something happen. Tap towards the left-hand side and Banku, but the header was well won by Pekarik.
They really are struggling to get just a foothold in this game, Romania. You know, and this is where these experienced players, they need to manage the game better. You know, just keeping the ball, going back to the keeper. You know, switch and play a little bit, allowing players to get touches, but they really are struggling.
Forward here by Hadji, it's one for Draguš to chase, and it was very calmly done by Vavro, who just headed that ball first time back to his goalkeeper Martin Dubravka. It's a very warm afternoon in Frankfurt, and one wonders if this is still 0-0 in the closing stages, how hard are these two going to push? But you have to give them huge credit for the way they're playing at the moment. And here's Hadji, and in his left foot, thinks about the shot, changes his mind, moving from right to left here. Yanis Hadji, who's on Rangers books, he was on loan with Alaves this season. Forward now into the D. That's really strong play by Lobotka, who is a bit of a pocket rocket in there, but he's stronger than he looks, and he sends it forward looking for Strelets. Strelets waiting for support to arrive, and he's lost it. Banku doubling up with Dragushin. He had no real support there, Strelets. Tashdawi, as a former striker, was ready to tut there. You weren't happy with that, were you?
Lobotka just brilliant, finds him, he makes the run. You've got to win a throw-in, nick it off of him, try and gain possession high up the pitch for your team.
Banku in field looking for Coman, who's nicknamed the Romanian Mbappe. No pressure. Now Stanciu looking for Coman in the penalty area, and that is smashed away by Denis Vavro. It's swinging this way and that. Over on TalkSport, live coverage of Ukraine against Belgium. That is 0-0 at the moment as well. No goals in Group E. We are where we were at the start. Here's Nicoșu Banku down the left for Romania. His cross is blocked, so he has to start again, with Schwantz doubling up against him. So it's back to Stanciu, who got Romania moving in this competition with that brilliant long-range goal against Ukraine, one of the goals of the tournament, arguably the goal of the tournament in terms of how pure a strike it was. And then the ball is just ballooned out of play by Andrei Burka, who's moaning at everybody. I think he should be looking inwards.
Yes, absolutely. That is a classic, pointing fingers rather than looking at yourself. And I was thinking that's exactly what they needed to do. Keeping the ball around the back, just keeping possession. And then under no pressure, he gives the ball away and allows then for Slovakia to regain possession. And now they can build.
The big games just keep on coming on the TalkSport network. 8 o'clock, it's the conclusion of Group F. Czechia against Turkey. That's on TalkSport at 8, and Georgia against Portugal on TalkSport 2. Here's Ondrej Duda wide on the left for Slovakia. Onto his right foot, was pushed over really clumsily there. There was no need to do that on Dragusin, and that's going to be a free kick.
Right now it's two completely contrasting emotions right now. Slovakia calm, composed, controlling the game. Players have ice-cool heads. Romania, they're all over the place. Defensively, even there, Dragusin, Duda's going nowhere. And then you push him, you allow them to set up for a free kick in a really dangerous area when you've already been under pressure for the first 20 minutes. Romania are really struggling right now.
The voice of the former England striker Tash Dowie alongside Kevin Hatchard for this one. As Group E hurtles towards its conclusion. Harasleen standing over this. Duda is there as well. Harasleen would take an in-swinger here. Korenita just organising the defenders in front of him. Milan Skriniar, the captain of Slovakia, is stood with his hands on his hips on the penalty spot, and it is going to be Harasleen. Duda has moved away. Hands go up from the back. Favreau there as well on the far post. Where will this go? It's Harasleen's delivery. It's a flat one, helped on! And it went right across the face of goal and behind. How did Slovakia not touch that one in? Hands on heads, it remains 0-0.
They have to get a touch, Kevin. Someone has to get a touch there. That is a wonderful ball through. There's a little flick on there. And that's where you're struggling, because you haven't got a number 9 that wants to get in the box and score a goal. That is a tap-in for any top centre forward, and I don't understand how that hasn't gone in, or at least someone's on the end of that.
It was absolutely amazing. Hansko missed it. Kutska missed it. 22 minutes on the watch in Frankfurt. Slovakia 0, Romania 0, but not for want of trying. We've seen Ratiu have a shot saved by Dubravka at one end, and that's the closest that Slovakia have come. Nita guns the ball to Banku in the left-back area for Romania, and they advance down that near side, and a long ball towards Draguš, and that had Skriniar struggling, and Dubravka, as that's come a long way to just fist that out of play. He was almost at the edge of his area there. It was a rather wayward header by Skriniar. You can see what he was trying to do. Romania have got on with it. Here's Banku, the left back, finding Connor, wearing number 17. Comes in on his right foot, plays it back to Stanchu. Stanchu with the right foot shot, and that's straight into the midriff of Dubravka, and it remains Slovakia 0, Romania 0.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot. Not afraid to take shots from distance. I mean, it's never, ever troubling Dubravka. But you don't shoot, you don't score. We've seen shots like that with little deflections, little nicks. Have a go. I think that's the first time they've even tested him after 23 minutes, so why not?
Live Euro 2024 football on TalkSport 2. No goals in this one. No goals in the game between Belgium and Ukraine. That's over on TalkSport. Every kick, every match, every tackle, every save, every goal coming your way across the TalkSport network. And Slovakia just take a moment just to compose themselves in the sun, and they swing it over towards Pekarik on the right hand side. Pekarik, can he get the ball in? He plays it short. It's a high hanging ball from Kutska, and the header is absolutely stunning. Ondrej Duda puts Slovakia in front. Wonderful delivery to the far post. Duda was all alone, headed it down into the far corner. And Slovakia aren't just accepting a point, aren't settling for a draw. They lead Romania.
Fully deserved, absolutely fully deserved. That switch ball has been on all day. Pekarik is literally hugging the touchline, touching that white line, and it is on all day long for the big switch. But I tell you what, that is not an easy header. It's beautiful the way he heads it back towards goal. Keeper's wrong-footed, 1-0, and like I said, fully deserved the 1-0. They've dominated this first 25 minutes.
Ondrej Duda with his 14th goal for his country. Judged it so very well. And Romania find themselves behind. They went into today top of the group, and yet they find themselves potentially in trouble.
But on the flip side, can I just say, how is he unmarked 5 yards out? You know, he's not a massive figure, Duda. You know, he's not a big 6 foot midfield player, but he's free, unmarked in the box. And this is it. I said it about last game, Kevin, the way that they started the game. Romania were really poor, lackluster, and then they turned up second half. That might be too late today. Slovakia started the game really well against Ukraine, and I think they know that they fatigued come the second half. So that's a brilliant start by Slovakia.
There is a cooling break at the moment. Slovakia scored with their 7th goal attempt. They have been carrying the fight from the get-go. You are listening to Euro Game Day Live on TalkSport 2, presented by Burger King. Bring home the ultimate food satisfaction. Get your favourites delivered now. Tash Dowie, it was a brilliant cross from Kutska, wasn't it?
Oh, honestly, the way, first time as well, he's just helped it into the box. It's perfectly weighted. And again, I've got to give credit for the finish, the way he backpedals, and that's so important, because you can see the keeper's moving across with the flight of the ball, so you've got to head it back across goal into the corner, side net, and keeper can't save it.
So at the moment, Slovakia will be the team on 6 points. And you'd have a situation where Belgium and Ukraine would be on 4 points, and Romania gone from top to bottom. They are currently on 3 points and bottom of the standings, so it's incumbent upon them to find a response in this game. Slovakia taking the lead through Ondrej Duda. Space here for Skriniar, comes forward and he tries to rattle that ball down the inside left channel. He was looking for Haraslin. Here is Haraslin once again, but he's had his pocket picked there by Marius Marin. And that's going to be a free kick to Romania. Romania, you made the point really early, Tash, that they looked more rattled. They looked like the team that was really struggling to deal with the gravity of the situation.
I can't stress enough how important starting the game is. You know, it just allows players to settle in, it allows them to build their confidence, and straight from kick-off, within 10 seconds, Slovakia are in the penalty area for Romania, and that's really how this first 27 minutes has continued.
Space here for Razvan Marin. He's giving it away though. Romania have been rather wasteful in possession, and they've proven that once again as Marius Marin loses it, and then Lobotka does what Lobotka does, just gets half a yard in midfield, wins the free kick. He is a master at that.
Honestly, he's been a pleasure to watch. First on the team sheet for Napoli, definitely first on the team sheet for Slovakia, but I must say 1-0 isn't enough. Slovakia have to score a second goal, because this Romania team have a goal in them, and like I said, I think squad-wise, depth-wise, Slovakia played with pretty much the same team for the previous 2 games. They did fatigue last game, so they'll know a second goal is so crucial.
So having done, nearly 1.5 games with you at Euro 2024, I now know, Tash Dowie, that away on holiday, first videos you'll be watching are hold-up play by strikers. Second set, probably just Lobotka on loop, just in midfield.
I'm not going to name drop, but I was chatting to Martin Skirtle, being obviously at Liverpool. He's been really helping me with my research and giving me info on Slovakia, and I just messaged him after the last game and said, what a player with flames, and he definitely agrees with me.
Long by Vavro down the centre, that's headed away by Ratiu. Suddenly Romania, having been in a good position, are in a bad one. Cross from the left-hand side by Slovakia, and it just went behind Schranz, who was lurking at the far post, and Romania just about dealing with the danger there. The ball goes out for a goal kick, and with 29 minutes gone in Frankfurt, Slovakia very much on top. They lead Romania by 1 goal to 0.
Yeah, it's a cracking start to the game, it really is. I don't think really anyone predicted it, truthfully. I thought Romania, the way they finished the game against Belgium, would really come out firing, but actually Slovakia, an extra day recovery, they look like that right now. They look fresher than Romania.
Romania started the tournament with a stunning 3-0 win over Ukraine. That was only their second ever win at a Euros finals, their first for 24 years since they beat England and knocked them out. It was their biggest ever victory at a major tournament, but on Saturday night they lost 2-0 to Belgium. Did have big chances at 1-0 down. Their qualification came as something of a surprise. as they failed to qualify for the last Euros, and they haven't played in a World Cup since 1998, but they ended up finishing 5 points clear at the top of their qualifying section, but they're behind the 8 ball here. As things stand, they would go out, with Slovakia beating them, and it is level in the other game between Ukraine and Belgium, which is over on TalkSport. Forward down the right-hand side by Slovakia, but that's easily cleared by Banku for Romania. And now Schwantz involved in the move down the right. Kucka finding Pekarik. It is Slovakia who look the more lively, and it's poorly cleared. Duda, edge of the Romanian area. His cross is easily away though by Ratiu. Didn't make best use of that situation, Duda. But now they come forward again with Hansko, the left back, finding Haraslin in the penalty area, twisting, turning, looking for a way through. Back to Hansko. His cross to the far post. It's brought down really well actually by Schwantz. It looks as though it was going to get away from him. Pekarik back into the penalty area, and then the touch from Strelec. He wants a corner, he's not going to get one, and the ball just loops behind for a Romanian goal kick. It remains Slovakia 1, Romania 0.
The pressure is just continuing. They're first to everything. They're second to everything. I see a second goal coming. I really do. I feel it. Romania need to somehow get together, regroup. Whether that's even the keeper goes down, they get together. A little bit of time wasting, game management, just to try and get a little grip hold in this game.
The Slovakian coach is an Italian, Francesco Calzona. He was doing something of a job share in the second half of the domestic season. He was the head coach of Napoli, where he'd previously been an assistant, but he failed to turn their season around as the defending Italian champions ended up finishing 10th, and they failed to qualify for Europe. Did have a bit of an unusual route, Calzona, into top-level coaching. He was working as a coffee sales rep, while also coaching in amateur football. He started working with Maurizio Sarri as his assistant. They climbed the leagues together, eventually worked together at Napoli. Long ball down the centre by Romania, headed away strongly by Vavro. Centre-backs for Slovakia have been very solid so far. Lobotka finding Hansko. Then he's caught out by Ratiu. The ball coming off Ratiu. It looked as though it was going to go out, but he stepped it in. Here's Razvan Marin finding Hadji. Romania trying to get some rhythm, trying to get a foothold in this game. They trail 1-0, and as things stand, they're going out of Euro 2024. Here's Banku. High hanging ball into the penalty area, headed away well by Skriniar. Romania have it again on halfway. Forward by Burka. It's cut out by Pekarik, who is in remarkable shape for a 37-year-old, but Romania have won it back down the left-hand side, the near side as we look at it, with Coman in his right foot, cross to the far post, headed away by Hansko, not very far, and then Duda completes the clearance. Here's Ratiu though, inside right channel, right foot shot straight to Dubravka, who just backs it down into the turf and claims the ball at the second attempt.
Yeah, that's better by Romania. Getting around the ball. That counter press, I talk about it. But putting the pressure back on Slovakia a little bit, and it's a good effort there. I mean, the keeper's never getting beaten, but that's what they need. That little kind of spell of momentum, which can easily then change the game and allow them to get themselves back in.
Romania have been keeping plenty of clean sheets recently, but they haven't done this afternoon. 10 in the last 17 games going into this. Their defensive record in the qualifiers was excellent. 5 goals conceded in 10 games. And that counter-press working well again for Romania, as Tashdawi was just saying. It's Hadji, dark hair tied back in a red band, and here he comes, goes down edge of the area. And the referee coming across, Daniel Zibek, gives a free kick. It could not have been closer, but it does look like a free kick right on the edge of the box.
That was close, very close, but brilliant by Hadji. Yes, it's outside the box. It looks just... I see there, yeah, you can see just nicks him. He does follow through though into the area, but that's what Hadji needs to do. Get at him, 1v1. And this is a really close call.
That's mega close, because the initial contact is a tiny brush of the toe. That's outside the box, but the actual trick looks on the line, and it looks to be in the box. I think David Hansko made the challenge here on Hadji. Could be in a bit of trouble here.
You see it given, 100%. It wouldn't surprise me if this is a penalty. And boy, would this be against the run of play, because really for 34 minutes Slovakia have dominated. But this is exactly what I said to you, Kevin. 1-0 is not enough. This team have players like your Hadjis that can create something from nothing, and he's gone and done that.
It's been checked. It's a long, nervous wait here for both teams. Yanis Hadji was convinced that he was in the penalty area when the contact happened, and Daniel Ziebert is just waiting to get the decision here from the VAR team. It was really close. The initial lunge by Hansko was outside, but the actual contact seemed to us at least to be inside.
It's poor defending though. He gets square. You can't do that. You know, you have to obviously know what foot is Hadji. What does he want to go on? Keep him on his weaker foot. But instead he gets caught square, so he can go either way then.
Well, Hansko got completely done by Hadji, really. And the referee points to the spot and gives the penalty. And he is wiped out the yellow card he'd initially given to Hansko, which is interesting. Hansko, I think, would have taken the booking, but instead he has to watch on as Romania have the chance to draw level. And Razvan Marin, who scored in the first game against Ukraine, has the opportunity to drag Romania level. Razvan Marin against Martin Dubravka from 12 yards. A deep breath, a long wait. Dubravka on his toes. Who will prevail? It's Marin, and Marin scores right in the top corner. Sent Dubravka the wrong way, and we're all square in Frankfurt. His second goal of Euro 2024. It could be a big one. It's 1-1.
But that is how you take a penalty. You know, and it's not easy. The amount of pressure. You practice it. You practice it after every training session. You pick your spot. You know where you're going. It doesn't matter where the keeper's going. If you take the penalty like that, there is no chance he is keeping it, saving it.
Romania have picked themselves up off the canvas and have delivered a big right hook. They are back level now. Yanis Hadji, just like his old man, bamboozling defenders. That's just what he did. Jinked onto his left foot. Hansko was twisted around, caught his man, and what a penalty from Razvan Marin. Absolutely flew into the top corner.
Yeah, Francesco Calzone is going to be so disappointed, you know, to have let them back into the game, because his team have played so well for the first 30 minutes. You know, one defensive error allowing your player to get caught 1v1, you know, in split second the game can change. Now let's see how Slovakia responds. Can now Romania use this as momentum?
So Razvan Marin with his seconds. Where we were, Romania top, Belgium seconds, Slovakia third. But here comes Slovakia with a bouncing ball into the area. Hansko trying to make up for his error by trying to produce an assist. He's played so well for Feyenoord this season under Arne Slot, the new Liverpool boss. He's understandably been linked with Liverpool as a result of that. Can play left back or centre back. He's been playing left back for Slovakia at this tournament. Here's Dragushin long for Romania, but straight out of play. Over on TalkSport, by the way, live commentary of Ukraine against Belgium. That's still 0-0. In this one, it's Slovakia 1, Romania 1. And later tonight, 8 o'clock, it's the conclusion of Group F. Czechia against Turkey on TalkSport. Georgia against Portugal on TalkSport 2. Every kick coming your way right here on the TalkSport network.
How moments and pressure can change straight away then. Dubravka under no pressure kicks it out, and you can see there Skriniar and Lobotka screaming at each other.
It's the Romanian fans who are making the noise. Dragushin, tall, strong defender. Back to Burka, who lofts it long, headed away by Skriniar. Slovakia have to compose themselves now, having allowed Romania back into the game. Just joining us, Ondrej Duda puts Slovakia in front. The first Slovakian player actually to score in more than one major tournament for them. Also scored previously in Euro 2016. It's been part of the furniture with Slovakia for a long time now. Ondrej Duda.
You know what I fancy Romania as well is when I look at their bench. You know, I was surprised, like I said earlier, Denis Mahn. he can come on. Such a creative player. Mihaila, the pace of him, I think he's actually been clocked as the fastest player in the tournament so far. So again, fatigue in the Slovakia team. Romania have players that come on and absolutely hurt you.
Mihaila was important in qualifying, scored a couple of goals against Switzerland in what proved to be a very important comeback. Drew in Switzerland, and he caused Belgium no end of problems on Saturday night. Here's Hadji volleying the ball towards halfway. It's a good bit of juggling there. Don't want to keep mentioning the fact his father was Georgi Hadji, but it was quite Hadji-esque. Here is cross from Banku, which was not very Hadji-esque because that's floated behind for a goal kick. We've seen highs and lows for both teams. They're kind of having to negotiate this roller coaster ride.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty much been two halves. Slovakia for the first 30 minutes, complete control, domination. Romania couldn't get a foothold. The goal has changed it. Now Slovakia look like a bit of the edgier team, and I said this about this group, these teams, it's just one moment, that's all it takes. It's been the tightest group in the competition. Anyone can win this game today.
Romania are a hard team to knock over. They've lost just 2 of their last 17 internationals. Headed forward down the left-hand side for them by Florinel Coman, who had a very good season for FCSB. The use of the name Steaua Bucharest has been very hotly disputed in Romania, so they are FCSB. 19 goals for them this season.
I think he's been quiet so far. I think he needs to get more involved. If not, then I think the likes of Yaman coming on, Mihaila, he needs to do more, Coman, for me.
It was a bit of a surprise to see Coman selected once again, but he can be a real flyer down that left-hand side. He just hasn't really done that so far. 42nd minute, and it's with Dragoshin now midway inside his own half for Romania, across to his centre-back partner Andrei Burko, who plays his football in Saudi Arabia for Al Ohdud. He started all 10 qualifiers. That's given away by Dragoshin really cheaply, really careless from the Spurs man. Araslin plays it out to Duda on the left touchline. Infield it goes to Lobotka. It's a bit of a hospital pass, but such is Lobotka's ability. Moved away from Hadji. Like he's got an inbuilt radar, but Slovakia have overrun it. And here come Romania with Draguš. He's got Hadji up with him. Denis Draguš, edge of the area. Right foot shot wide of the target. Hadji wants to know why the ball wasn't slipped to him, but Draguš only had eyes for goal, and he hit it wide of the target.
Yeah, if I'm being completely honest, that looks like a striker that hasn't scored too many goals on international level. Really, truthfully, no conviction. You can see here, 1v1, any other striker really has a go, but that shot's never really challenging the keeper. If anything, actually, I think there's 2 options to look to pass, which are a better option.
Draguš scored in the opening game against Ukraine, but that was only his 3rd goal at international level. He's had a good season in Turkey with Gaziantep on loan from Standard Liège. He got 15 goals, including 4 goals in his last 4 games. So he went into this tournament on form, but as the former England striker Tash Dowie says, his record at international level is promising, but it's not a long track record. Headed by Strelec, who's struggled to make much of an impact, but here he is, left-footed volley, and that's high, wide, and not too handsome from David Strelec. Picked ahead of Robert Bojanic today. Has he really justified that for you yet?
No, not yet. I think they're very similar players, if I'm being completely honest. I actually think Bojanic does better at holding up the play, and he's actually more of a threat in behind. Maybe the 2 games, the short amount of turnover, he needed a rest, but I'd be very surprised if we don't see Bojanic feature in the second half pretty early.
44th minute in Frankfurt. Really good scrap so far. We feared that because a draw is enough for these two to make the last 16, I might not be too interested in winning. I held on for hope. I'm not a natural cynic, and actually they've really gone for it, haven't they?
Both teams have. It really has been a flying start, and again, it's going to be really interesting to see tactically changes at half-time. Will there be changes made, changes early? We haven't seen too many changes within both of these teams, but again, how the other game is going as well, I think it's going to be a fascinating second half.
Still 0-0 in that game between Ukraine and Belgium. That's over on TalkSport, live commentary of that one. Of course, if you've got the TalkSport app, you can switch between the 2 stations really easily. Well worth downloading, as Yanis Hadji is pushed over by Hansko, who's really struggled to deal with him actually in the latter part of this half. It was Hadji who drew the penalty from Hansko. Here come Romania as we tick towards stoppage time at the end of the half. It's a dreadful ball. Trying to swing it out to the left-hand side, and Coman could have cloned himself, stood in his own shoulders. He still wouldn't have got there. 3 minutes of added time we'll have in the Frankfurt sunshine. And we're into the first of those as Dubravka sends it long down the right-hand side. Pekarik got there ahead of his man and has gone down. It's going to be a free kick, and a yellow card is shown. And he was just hacked down there. It was Burka with the challenge. Andre Burka goes into the book.
Yeah, you can see he's actually covering for Banku, who's been drawn out of that position, so the centre-halves had to come across and he's never getting there. And he probably knows, truthfully, if I'm not going to get the ball, I have to get a player. And it's a professional foul, but a dangerous situation now with a couple of minutes to go till half-time.
He really missed him entirely, such was his momentum. But he just reached out to make sure as he was whizzing past. And as Tashdawi says, this is a late chance in the half for Slovakia to make something happen. Duda standing over it with Haraslim. Haraslim potentially with the outswinger. Depiction of a football on his wrist with the number 17, his number. It would be a bit strange if he had a tattoo of a different number. So here it comes. Haraslim's free kick, wide on the right. It's a flat one towards the penalty spot. Was really poor quality actually. Easily cleared by Banku. Slovakia with a chance to loft it long down the left, and that's not a great ball either. Vavro trying to keep it going, and Tashdawi, they made a real mess of that.
Yeah, everything about that was poor. You know, originally really poor. Free kick going in, doesn't even clear the first man, then opportunity then to get the ball back in, you know, to make something else, and they kick it straight out. Two real opportunities missed there.
Final minute of stoppage time as the ball goes back to Denis Vavro, 10 yards shy of halfway. He's an uncompromising centre-back. He once, back in February, played against his international teammate Lukas Haraslim in a friendly, got sent off for chopping him down on half-right. Doesn't mess around, Denis Vavro. Here come Romania. It's nice from Hadji. His confidence is high, but he's given that ball away. Just lofted it straight into the air, and Duda tried to latch onto it. Luckily for Romania, there were enough yellow shirts back there. That could have been a really bad error from Hadji. It's been hit and miss from these two, but it's made for a fascinating game. I hope you agree, listening to us on TalkSport 2. 1-1 in the dying seconds of the first half. Slammed forward by Dragoshin, easy header away by Vavro. Lobotka now across to Hansko. Hansko to Schranz. Schranz has it taken off his toe by Banku, and that's going to be a yellow card for him. Nikoshur Banku, and now we've had two of the Romanian back four cautions.
Yeah, Romania needs to do better there. They keep going long ball all the time. That's not their strength. They need to try and be braver to get the ball down and play through the thirds.
Superb displays from the fans. We're back underway in Frankfurt. Romania playing from left to right in this second half, all in yellow. Slovakia all in blue, attacking the goal away to the left-hand side. Two teams for you quickly. Dubravka in goal for Slovakia. Hansko, Skriniar, Vavro and Pekarik the back four. Duda, Lobotka and Kutska the midfield. Haraslim, Strelec and Schranz the front three. As for Romania, it is Nita in goal, Ratiu, Dragoshin, Burka and Banku the back four. Marius Marin, the holding midfielder, in front of him Hadji, Razvan Marin, Stanchu and Coman, and then the lone striker is Denis Dragush.
Shall we talk about the draw though? I actually think these two teams deserve to go through. I think they've played the best football. So if we're talking about actually who deserves to go through, then I want to see a draw today, because I'd love nothing more to see these two teams progress. I think they've been brilliant to watch.
But we'll take 4-4, right?
We'll take 4-4.
Yeah, that would...
Your voice might not though.
That's true. That's absolutely true. 1-1 at the moment, 1 minute gone in this second half. Here come Slovakia down the left-hand side with Hansko. Swings it across to the right corner of the penalty area. Nodded down to Kutska, veteran midfielder. So experienced, so determined, and here he is. He's made one goal already. Out to the right-hand side, and the cross was blocked. by Schranz. And here is Schranz again, down with the corner flag on the far side. Spaced by Banku, who's trying to win the corner. And he's won that corner. Ivan Schranz, it's been a great tournament for him. Goals in the first 2 games. First international goal since October 2021. And he's been a regular scorer in the Europa League this season for Slavia Prague. And he's won his team a corner early in this second half. What can they come up with here? Florian Mita just organising his defenders. Plenty of movement in there. Around about the penalty spot. Here comes the corner. Whipped in with pace. Headed away by Draguš. Helping out the centre forward. It comes back out to Schranz, who's going the long way around here. Jabs it down the left hand side. Bit of space for Hansko. And Hansko was beyond the last man. Offside with 2 minutes done in the second half. It's Slovakia 1. Romania 1 over in the other game, live on TalkSport. That is goalless. So at the moment, Romania and Belgium would qualify in the top 2, but Romania would win the group. Slovakia would go through as one of the best third place teams. There were already a couple of third place teams that would have a worse record than them. And Ukraine, despite having 4 points, would go home, which would be extraordinary.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I think this second half has started very similar to how the first half did. Slovakia, early set piece, early pressure. They've definitely come out in the second half the stronger of the two. Let's see again how this momentum will shift.
The Romania coach Edward Iordanescu took up the reins in 2022. He's still just 46. Started coaching in his early 30s after a modest playing career. His father, Ankel Iordanescu, was in charge of that famous Romania team that reached the World Cup quarter-finals in 1994 in America. The team of Georgi Hagi, Gica Popescu, Florin Radicioiu. I'm not on a bonus for mentioning Georgi Hagi, I have to say, just to make that clear. I feel like I've talked about him a lot so far this afternoon. His son, Yanis Hagi, has just given away a free kick for Slovakia. Hansko, a man upended. It's been a good battle between those two.
It really has, an honest battle. I think right now Hagi's winning it, but it has, it's been lovely to see the 1v1 situations. I think really the left back there needs more support, because I think Hagi is a lively player, can go inside and outside. That's how he won the penalty. So then the centre half, Skriniar, the captain, he has to cover him more. He has to get over and support that full-back more, because he's struggled in this game.
It's a bit of a scary moment for Dubravka there. He was given a rather dangerous pass, but he managed to work it to Skriniar, who pumps it long down the left-hand side for Slovakia. Ratiu with a loose touch, and here's Hansko surging into the box, cuts it back. That's an awful clearance by Dragušin. The goalkeeper just about paws it away. He's absolutely furious, Florin Mita, because there were 2 mistakes there really. Ratiu's first, and then Dragušin just hacked the ball into the air, and it took the experienced Mita to come and deal with the danger. Here come Romania at the other end though, with Yanis Hagi wearing number 10, approaching the edge of the penalty area, in on his left foot. It was a poor ball though, easily cleared by Vavro. And now it'll drop to Coman on the far side, the left. Dennis Mann was warming up quite furiously at half-time, thought he might have come on at half-time, but that didn't happen. And here is Coman, who was the natural player perhaps to come off. Stanchu, he's been quiet, the captain, scored a magnificent goal against Ukraine in their opening game. He is the creative heartbeat, and he's playing it down the left. That's a good ball. Banku trying to help it to Coman. It comes back out to Banku, but then Draguš can't make anything happen. The ball just skims off his head and goes through to Dubravka. 51st minute in Frankfurt. Slovakia 1, Romania 1.
Yeah, and again, it's Hagi involved. But you can see he wants to keep cutting on his left foot. So then the fullback there, Banku, it has to make him go line. Go onto his right foot, see it out. That's the situation that I think Romania, they need to get Hagi more into the game. If something's working, keep feeding him the ball. He's 1v1 all day long, and I think he's winning that battle, and he's going to continue to win that battle.
Here comes Slovakia, just building from the back. Only 51 minutes gone in Frankfurt. Live coverage of Slovakia-Romania on TalkSport 2. There's on TalkSport It's Ukraine against Belgium, live commentary of that one. Pumped long by Slovakia towards the left-hand side, and Duda headed away by Ratiu. Trying to work it on his left-hand side with Haraslin, charging into the area. Haraslin, he's done really well, onto his right foot, and the shot was straight at the goalkeeper Nita, and he gathers at the second attempt. But that was a driving run from Haraslin, causing a problem. Now Romania trying to make something happen at the other end.
That is textbook Haraslin, and like I said before the game, he can go inside and he can go outside, and that's hard then to defend as a defender, because he's just as strong on his right foot as he is his left foot, and he caused loads of problems in the first two games of this group stage, and that really is probably the first we've seen of him in those moments, in those 1v1 situations, so he needs to get himself more involved in this second half.
All square as things stand. Both of these teams are going through. Romania as a top two finisher, Slovakia as a third place team. Here's Schranz though, trying to run the defence, trying to charge in from the right flank, but fouled his man. It was good tracking back actually by Florinel Coman. The work rate has been excellent from both teams, sir.
Yeah, as you'd expect, honest teams, hard-working teams. Can I just say though, what a ball by Lobotka. I mean, what is that, 50, 60 yards across the pitch, pinpoint. And I was really lucky in the end there by Strands, giving away the foul. But I just don't see the way this game's going. I cannot call it. It's going to be so tight. I do think substitutions are going to play a big part in this.
So I'm not on a bonus for mentioning Georgi Hagi. Tashdawi isn't on a bonus for mentioning Lobotka. Just have to underline that. Former England striker Tashdawi alongside Kevin Hatchard for this one. It is going to be a nail-biting end to the group. Level in Frankfurt and level in the game between Ukraine and Belgium, or more or less where we started. Ball is with Burka, goes back to his goalkeeper Florin Nita, 36, plays for Gaziantep. He was the Romanian Player of the Year back in 2017. He's won league titles in Romania and Czechia. Wasn't necessarily expected to be the first choice goalkeeper for Romania at Euro 2024, but he's been given the nod ahead of the Atletico Madrid goalkeeper Horatiu Moldovan. There was a aerial challenge that left Hansko in a heap on the floor, but carrying on here, it's going to be Duda, slides it into the area looking for Haraslin, and that was excellent from Stanchu, tracking back and winning the ball. We don't necessarily associate that with him. He is very much the player in that midfield area, but he won it, and he plays it out for a throw so that Hansko can get some attention. It was Hagi who went in for the challenge with him. Those two would be sick at the sight of each other by the end of the game.
Yeah, Joe, it's actually good refereeing. I thought it was a head injury, so then I could understand then why the manager was going so mad, but it wasn't. And then it's advantage play, so it's good refereeing there.
55th minute. Slovakia 1, Romania 1. Slovakia won 7 of their 10 qualifiers. They finished second behind the group winners Portugal. Their only defeats were against Portugal, who won all 10 of their qualifiers. So Slovakia really did excel. Coach Francesco Calzona called this a tough challenge mentally. Said that they'd be facing a very strong side. Says he feels his side deserves to make the last 16. Here come Romania down the far side, the left, as we look at it, and the offside flag is up against Dragush on the far side. Edward Iordanescu on the edge of his technical area. The Romanian coach is a very demonstrative guy, in a smart suit and white polo shirt, constantly waving. It's a warm day, so he's had to towel himself down a bit.
Yeah, and again, going back to just the instant there offside, Dragush, there's nothing worse, and to be fair, I used to get shouted at a few times, as a number 9, when you're playing out and you don't get yourself onside quick enough and you get caught offside and then you allow the opposition. And again, I harp on about how hard it is to be a lone striker in these games, but that's the game that he's playing right now, Dragush, and it's the same, for Strelitz. It's not a pretty job, but you have to do one for the team. You have to be in the right situation. You have to run yourself to the ground knowing that you've got someone else on the bench that can come on and finish the job off for you.
How bold will these two be, knowing that a point is enough? Works it to Hansko down the left here, Slovakia. Ratiu in his way. Ratiu with his hair dyed blue. And a nod to that famous USA 94 team that dyed their hair. Ball is through here to Vavro for Slovakia, into the centre circle for the excellent Lobotka. He's a big part of Napoli winning the Scudetto recently. the season just gone, but the season before that. Everybody talks about Kvicha Kvaratskhelia and Victor Osimhen. They did play star roles, but Lobotka was a big part of that success. Here's Dubravka, goalkeeper for Slovakia, out to the far side, and Vavro and Slovakia just keeping possession and playing their way into the game. And here's big Milan Skriniar, the captain. First season at Paris this season, he was left out of the cup final team. Ball over the top here, looking for what was a pretty smart run from Pekarik. The offside flag was up in any case, but again, Slovakia really slick in midfield, and Lobotka just trying something there that didn't quite work out.
Yeah, but this is the kind of positions you want to get him in. You know, driving in at midfield, spacing behind. You know Pekarik will be there all day long for you. Inches really away from being offside.
Change here, and not necessarily the one we expected actually. Florinel Coman is coming off. It's been replaced by Dejan Sorescu, who is a more defensively minded option than either Valentin Mihaila or Denis Mann. Sorescu, who's been on loan at Gaziantep in Turkey. He's a utility player really. He can play both flanks, he can play full-back or wing. The roof, by the way, in Frankfurt is not closed. I can tell you the skies are very grey. It has been raining lightly, and you get the sense it could rain rather heavily in what remains of this game.
I think straight away that says a lot. You're saying it's more defence-minded. Are they happy with where they are then in the group? You know, do they want to shut up shop a bit? I did say that I think Slovakia has started this second half the better, so do they need to have maybe a bit more of a defence-minded player coming on? You know, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think there's a little bit different than to inviting pressure on. You know, if you're going to invite pressure on, then you're asking for trouble.
That is the danger. So Dejan Sorescu is on. Place of Florinel Coman. Long ball here from Slovakia, and Hanasli trying to get away from Raciu. Raciu stuck with him, and most importantly didn't dive in there. Would have been really easy to do that. And now Romania trying to attack, and that's headed away by Skriniar at full stretch. That's going to be a throw to Romania on the near side, the right, level with the edge of the penalty area as that rain starts to come down a bit more insistently in Frankfurt.
Yeah, it's a great ball by Hadji. Yeah, and sometimes those balls in behind, you know, where you can then win possession hard of the pitch, that's okay. You know, when your team's been under pressure or you want to try and gain momentum, that's the perfect ball, and that's where your number 9 then needs to run for you.
Raciu's throw into the feet of Draguš, but he didn't manage to keep it. Slovakia able to clear, but only as far as Burka. His ball forward was a bit clumsy, but managed to recover. Ticking towards the hour mark in Frankfurt, still level. Slovakia 1, Romania 1. It's pumped forward towards Draguš, tries to nod it down for Raciu, but Slovakia are able to clear. But again, it's a throw for Romania down the right, taken quickly. Here's Raciu, Andrei Raciu, twisting and turning, a few step overs, but didn't really outfox the defender there. Hansko's clearance is charged down, but Slovakia take control with Lobotka. Absolutely nothing phases him. Across to Vavro to the right back area, and Pekarik back to big Denis Vavro, just bangs it downfield towards halfway. Really strong header there forwards by Romania, and it runs loose on the edge of the area. Can they get a shot away here? A bit of a slip from Razvan Marin, finds Hadji, edge of the box, faced by a wall of blue, but he plays it infield. Razvan Marin, good save by Dubravka. Had to move really sharply to his right to touch that one away, but Romania forward again here, and the shot right-footed goes over the top. A fair few Romanian fans thought it was in, but it rippled the roof of the net. Draguš with the right foot shot, edge of the area, goalkeeper beaten. There was some cheers, but it was not a goal. It just rippled the roof of the net with Dubravka well beaten. It's still 1-1.
I thought it was in. You know, that's 10 seconds of wonderful play by Romania. How Razvan Marin has even got that shot away. You know, you can see there, it's almost a standing toe-poke, but the power he gets behind it to make the keeper make a save. And then Draguš with a great effort. I was celebrating. I thought it was top bins.
The effort from Razvan Marin was almost like a budget version of that wonderful Ronaldinho goal against Chelsea that he managed from almost a standing start with the outside of the boot. Dubravka able to save that one. We've had had 61 minutes in Frankfurt. Still nothing to separate these teams, still nothing to separate the other two teams in the group, Ukraine and Belgium. That's goalless, so all four teams still locked together on 4 points. I'm not the best of weathermen, but did suggest it was going to start absolutely whacking it down, and it is. Here's Harasleen working it infield, now it's with Lobotka. That's just going to add to the chaos, one suspects, because it isn't the best of pitches anyway, really. Here's Harasleen, left edge of the penalty area, tries to work it infield. The weather in Germany has been weird and wonderful at this tournament. 4 seasons in one day at times. He has done well working back there too with his team at front.
I love that. I absolutely love that. You know, as a centre forward and a wide player, you know you've got to do a job for your team defensively as well. You know, so he's creating goals at one end, but then he's back helping his defenders out at the other end, and that's exactly what you have to do if you're going to then progress in this tournament.
Free kick is given Slovakia's way. You're listening to Euro Game Day Live on TalkSport 2, presented by Carling, the UK's #1 lager, 18 plus. Please drink responsibly. The rain is somewhat biblical, I have to say. It's absolutely hammering it down now.
Defenders will love this, and strikers. You know, you need to follow in second balls. You know the keeper might spill it. These are the kind of, I know it sounds crazy, but these are the games that I love. You know, wet, you can really fizz the ball around. The defenders love the slide tackling. You know, they'll be loving this.
Hard as nails, touchdown, absolutely. It's with Vavro here, inside right channel, inside his own half. Slovakia 1, Romania 1 on TalkSport 2, over on TalkSport. Live commentary of Ukraine against Belgium, which is still 0-0. Lofted down the right-hand side here by Slovakia to Schranz, and he's laid it off. Can they get the shot away? Strelec, left foot shot, kicked away by Nita. Strelec's first meaningful effort in front of goal, and the whistle has now gone. But David Strelec finding room at long last in the penalty area, hit it low and hard, but Nita able to make the save.
It would have been a beautiful goal, long ball, great first touch. You know, the way that they combined it. But again, as a number 9, you have to do better there. You know, he doesn't have to lace that there. Either side, shape it. You can go right, you can go left. You're under no pressure, and he smashes it straight at the keeper. That's an easy save for the keeper there. And again, I'm being really critical of the number 9s, but I think he has to do better there.
Attempted charge forward there by Sorescu, who has moved out to the left-hand side where Coman was, just to maybe lock up that side. Maybe there was a bit of concern from Jordanescu about what Slovakia were able to do. Well, if I tell you that it wouldn't be a big surprise if Noah turns up with the arc in the next minute or so, that'll give you an idea of what the weather's like. These sheets of rain in Frankfurt. Here comes Slovakia. Duda in the centre circle. Angle ball out to Harasleen. Ratiu for company. Harasleen, left edge of the penalty area. Right foot shot, curling! Wow, that was close, but it's just wide of the far post. The goalkeeper at full stretch got nowhere near it, and Lukáš Harasleen was so close to making it 2-1.
Yeah, absolutely. Second opportunity in the game, and we're talking after 64 minutes that we get Harasleen in a position to go 1v1, and this is what he can do. He is their danger man, and that's someone that's got a bit more conviction about them, and if he could just wrap his foot around that an inch more, that's nestling bottom corner, but warning signs.
65 on the watch. Slovakia 1, Romania 1, and they're going to make a couple of changes here, Romania. They're going to bring on George Puskás, who was formerly on the books at Reading, spent several years there, and they're going to bring on Dennis Mann, who made 2 goals in the opening game against Ukraine. Scored 13 goals for Parma in the Italian second tier this season, and he's real danger. So Mann will come on for Hadji, who's done his bit by winning the penalty, and Draguš comes off to be replaced by George Puskás, who was on the books at Inter in Italy at one stage as well. He was playing his trade for Bari this season as a lone player. So Puskás, the number 9, is on, as is Dennis Mann. They've replaced Dragush and Hadji. What do you make of that?
I'm surprised, if I'm being completely honest. I wanted to see Man involved, but for Hadji, no. You know, he's been their danger man. You know, whenever Romania have looked dangerous, it's because Hadji's got involved. So whether or not then they're being brave enough to try and save his legs for further on in the tournament, but he's been their best player by a mile. I would have kept him on.
There's real jeopardy here now, because one of these teams knows that if they win it, they could win the group. They also know if they lose it, they could go out of Euro 2024. Still level over on TalkSport between Ukraine and Belgium. All four teams locked together on 4 points. There is a bit of space for Stanciu, edge of the area, lays it off. Marine works it to Dennis Mann, trying to get it on his left foot. Can he get the shot away? Dennis Mann forced across the box, works it to Banku, the left back, in a crossing position. Out to Sorescu. Stanciu now. His attempted ball in field is blocked, and that goes out for a throw-in to Romania. Ebbs and flows in this second half.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's very much like for like though when you look at Man and his playing style. Very similar to Hadji. Wants to get on his left foot. So pretty much the left back for Slovakia is having one hell of a game, you know, up against two really tough opposition.
Forward by Banku into the Slovakian area, really well dealt with by Skriniar, who just knocks it away from Puskás. Puskás back to Stanciu, but it was a loose touch from him. It's not like him. And a really panicky clearance by Slovakia. There's real fear in both teams at the moment. Here's Dejan Sorescu, the substitute for Romania. Plays it in field. It's with Marius Marin. And now they work it back to Burka. Now Dragusin. And he just fires it forward. What a ball! Into the penalty area. And it just skipped away from Dennis Mann on the wet surface all the way through to Dubravka, but the idea was really smart.
Oh, the vision. First of all, to see the run, spectacular, but then to be able to execute that ball. And if it wasn't raining, I think that's making him. I think it's getting there. I think the rain has actually taken it away from Man, but a great run as well. And that's what they need. They need someone threatening him behind more, and Man will do that out-to-in run, similar to like a Mo Salah. You know, that kind of run that fullbacks don't like. It's really hard to mark.
Who can grab the initiative? 69th minute, Slovakia 1, Romania 1. It's with Skriniar, slides it square to find Vavro, and the ball did not move truly. That's the fear now. The rain has eased off, but there's a fair bit of standing water now on this pitch, and even the most basic of passes is a bit of an adventure. And Slovakia drive it down the right-hand side, but it gets away from the intended target, who was Schranz, and that's all the way through to Nita. That is something these players have to bear in mind now, this surface.
Yeah, and you probably don't want to mess around in the wrong areas now. You know, neither of these teams particularly play out too often. They tend to go a bit more long and direct, but probably with 20 minutes to go, no silly mistakes, no errors.
Remember, a draw is enough for both teams to progress, and changes here for Slovakia. Going to bring on Robert Bojanic and Tomáš Suslov, and they're on for Strelec and Haraslin, so they're pretty much like-for-like changes. Bojanic is the centre forward. He scored against Wales in the pre-tournament warm-ups. That was a 4-0 win actually for Slovakia, and Tomáš Suslov was once seen as the next big thing in Slovakian football. Hasn't quite lived up to that. He was the Slovakian Young Player of the Year in both 2021 and 2022.
Interesting, because Romania's subs slightly more defence-minded. Slovakian subs definitely, in my opinion, more attack-minded. You know, fresh legs, centre forward, wide player that is positive, can go at people. So again, is that mindset now? You know, Slovakia the ones wanting to go for the win. Romania may be happy with the draw.
As things stand, Romania would win the group. Slovakia would go through as a third-place team with 4 points. Belgium would also qualify. Ukraine would go out with 4 points. Could go through all of the ins and outs, but we'd be here all day. And Bozanic has picked the pocket of Burka. And his low cross into the area is swept up by Mita. It's clever from Dragusin, who heeded his goalkeeper's call and let the ball run through to him. But Bozanic, who's just come on, looking lively there.
Yeah, and that's Bozanic. That is what he'll do. And talks about his goal scoring record, and that will come. But also strikers create their own luck. So eventually the goals will come to him. But I tell you what, he will run all day. He will put you under pressure, and then in these conditions, weather conditions, tell you what, the Romanian back four, these last 20 minutes, they're going to have a handful with him up front.
Still 1-1 in this one on TalkSport 2 between Slovakia and Romania. Still 0-0 over on TalkSport between Ukraine and Belgium. Live commentary of that one. And if you've got the TalkSport app, you can switch between the two games really easily. Angle ball cleared by Ratiu, the Romanian right back, and then a ball by Duda straight out of play. Seemed angry with Suslov, but actually it was Duda who just put it straight out of play. Tomasz Suslov certainly doesn't lack confidence. In a magazine interview with his former club Groningen, he described himself as the biggest talent at the club. So certainly no boosting needed for his confidence.
I'm all for a bit of confidence, but that to me is verging on arrogance a little bit. But look, do your talking then. Let's see what you can do. You've got 20 minutes to produce.
Must have been fun stepping back into the dressing room after that. Here is Nita just taking his time. 73rd minute. Does bear repeating. A draw is enough for these two teams to go through to the last 16. For Romania, it would be their first qualification for the knockouts of the Euro since 2000. Romania with a quick throw here down the left after Dubravka was hurried into a clearance straight out of play. Here's Marius Marin, 10 yards inside the Slovakian half, drifts it to the left-hand side. Clever header by Hansko, down into his own area, and then Skriniar with a terrible error left the ball behind, just about recovered. Sure, the surface had something to do with that, because that ball is not running as freely as these players would like. Here is Marius Marin for Romania. Plays it across to Bancu. Now out to Sorescu on the left. Onto his right foot. Curling cross away by Vavro. And in the 74th minute it remains Slovakia 1, Romania 1. And Ukraine 0, Belgium 0.
Heart in mouth moment then, wasn't it? And you're spot on about the weather. Absolutely, it'll be having an effect. I tell you what, the players, we wanted to make sure they've got their studs on. You don't want to be slipping over in moments like that, which could cost your team. But as a centre forward, this is when you get excited, because you know you're going to get an opportunity.
Voice of the former England striker Tashtawi alongside Kevin Hatchard for this one. As the referee just has a word with Dragusin after a challenge with Bozanic. It's the conclusion of Group F tonight. 2 8 o'clock kickoffs for you on the TalkSport network. Czechia against Turkey on TalkSport. Georgia against Portugal on TalkSport 2. Puskás tries to bring it down 25 yards out, but it's knocked away from him by Slovakia. It's bouncing around on the right. Schranz trying to get there ahead of Sorescu. There are players losing their footing all over the place here. Mentioned that there have been problems with this surface for months in Frankfurt. They had some NFL games in the stadium, and that seems to have had a lasting effect. Here's Bozanic down the inside right channel for Slovakia. Finds Suslov. Two subs combining there. Now it's worked out to the left-hand side, and Hansko up from left back. He rolls it down the touchline, looking for the run of Suslov, and Suslov battling away. Is beaten to it by Dragusin, who falls over, gets a big patch of mud on his back for his trouble as we move into the final 15 minutes of normal time. Slovakia 1, Romania 1, both of them going through. As it stands, Vavro with a shot from long range, sails over the crossbar. It's a Romanian goal kick. You're listening to Euro Game Day live on TalkSport 2, presented by Burger King. Bring home the ultimate food satisfaction. Get your favourites delivered now.
The pitch is really cutting up. I've just seen then, 2 or 3 players, you mentioned it, but sliding over. I just really hope that a goal does not come from a mistake because of the weather and because of the pitch, but it's something that the last 5 minutes we've definitely noticed a lot of players losing their footing.
As things stand, Romania would top the group, Belgium would be second, Slovakia would be third, Ukraine would go home with 4 points. Driven long by Dubravka. for Slovakia. Was that a handball? Well, it was a foul anyway, says the referee, by Schranz on Banku. This little handshake between the two of them. There have been good battles all over the pitch in this game. You could never accuse these players of settling for a point, settling for a draw. They've gone for it from the get-go, as both coaches said they would. Edward Iordanescu, the Romania coach, said we don't want to think about playing for the draw, we will push for the win. Said he was confident. Francesco Calzona said going through would be a great result and one that they deserve. He said as well they're not just going to hang on for a draw. And we are going to have a change here for Slovakia. It's going to be Schranz who makes way. No goal for him, having scored in the first two games, and it is David Juric, who was playing his football at Ascoli in the Italian lower leagues this season. He comes on for Schranz. He did score a really important goal actually in qualifying against Luxembourg, David Juric, and that was his only international goal to date.
And I think this is where potentially, if these two teams do progress, they might then struggle, because I think depth of squad, if I'm being completely honest, I think maybe the substitutions, do they strengthen them or does it weaken them? You know, you want to keep your best players on the pitch, but unfortunately because of fatigue they have to take their best players off.
Here's Bozhnik foraging, gets across him from the right, headed away by Dragushin. He is defended excellently in this group stage. Pumped back into the Romanian box, and Nita will just let that bounce. Is it going to go out? He wants it to, but he didn't, and he ended up having to hack it almost at hip height out of play down by halfway. I think in rugby he would have been quite pleased with that. Kick for touch. Got some distance on that. It's going to be a Slovakian throw just inside the Romanian half. 78 minutes gone in Frankfurt. Slovakia 1, Romania 1, and that's enough for both. But will they push for the win, as they have done all the way through so far? Here's Lobotka just to the left of the centre circle, finds Skriniar. Don't want to hang on for a draw hoping the other team will do that, and then you get stitched up right at the end.
Honestly, part of me is envisioning this right now. I feel heartbreak today for someone. I can't see this game ending 1-1. I feel like there's going to be some late drama.
Smashed long by Skriniar down the inside left channel for Slovakia. It's going to bounce the way of Hansko. Hansko trying to get the better of Ratu. Ratu just leaned into him, really. There's a bit of a coming together. Referee looked at it and saw no case to answer. It's a goal kick, but nothing more than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Great defending. Uses his body. And then because of the weather, he ends up sliding there, losing his footing and going into the boarding. And that's going to hurt, but I don't see anything wrong with that. Just good 1v1 defending there.
Ratu did have the look of a naughty school kid there, just pleading with the teacher. I did nothing wrong. Not me. Let's go up and about. He's done pretty well, Hansko, considering he made that mistake in the first half, gave away the penalty by chopping down Yanis Hadžić. He's recovered well. Player who is a rising star, started all 10 of Slovakia's qualifiers. Actually scored after 9 seconds of one game against Liechtenstein. Puskás penalised here for a foul on Skriniar, which caught him with his right elbow.
See, that's where as a centre forward I get mad, because how are you meant to jump and get any type of power if you're not using your arm? That to me is just brilliant centre forward play. He needs to protect himself better, the centre half. I'm sticking up for my forward there.
Yeah, centre forward should be allowed to elbow defenders in the head. Of course they should. Of course they should. Here's the free kick from Skriniar. Angle ball to the edge of the area. The header is one on that far side by Kucka. Drops out of play for a throw to Slovakia. We're into the final 10 minutes on TalkSport 2. Slovakia 1, Romania 1. If you want to hear the conclusion of Ukraine-Belgium, that's over on TalkSport. Goalless at the moment.
I'm nervous. I can't even imagine how nervous these players are.
And coaches and the fans, but Slovakia have won themselves a corner here. Just a low ball down the right and got a touch off the left back, Nikoshur Banku. And it is going to be a corner here for Slovakia. And with the surface as wet as it is, could have all kinds of computations and thrills and spills here. Nita, the goalkeeper, Just trying to dry his gloves on his jersey. And what can Slovakia come up with here? Against the Romanian defence, this has been pretty solid, but here is a chance. Duda will take the corner kick from that far side, the right. Referee Daniel Ziebert can be a little fussy at times.
Get on with it, ref.
Just sorting a bit of pushing and shoving, if you can call it that. A lot of movement around the penalty spot here. Some big guys in there. Duda towards the far post. Vavro with the knockdown, but that's cleared by Romania. Huge roar from the Romanian fans at clearing that corner, and then a rather clumsy challenge by Marius Marin on Vavro, who was playing left winger there, the centre-back. He did it pretty well and won a free kick.
Yeah, he did look like a top centre-forward there, didn't he? Used his body really well, touched it round, and then felt the contact a little bit, and then, yeah, absolutely, has won his team a free kick in a good area again, where they can load the box, they can get their big men forward.
So a chance here for Slovakia, another set piece. Nita just not happy with how his defence is set up here at the moment. Just moving the wall across. It's only a two-man wall, but it's a long way from goal. It wouldn't be a shot. Played by Suslov towards the far post, headed away, but not very far. Vavro tries to hook it back into the penalty area, cleared by Stanchu. Did really well, actually, volleying it over his own shoulder under pressure. That was excellent, and it's a throw for Slovakia. 5 yards inside the Romanian half. As things stand, Romania would top the group, Belgium would be second, Slovakia third, Ukraine would go home. Played out to the right-hand side, and Pekarik, but he was seized upon by Stanchu. Clutch of tattoos just below his right ear. Throw in here for Slovakia. 83 gone, 1-1 between Slovakia and Romania. Here come Romania on the counter. High ball towards Puskás. Battling with Vavro, and he's got there. Puskás, but Vavro stuck with him like glue and just jabbed that ball away from him. That was excellent defending. And now Slovakia will look to bring it out with Hansko in the left-back area. And here come the blue shirts of Slovakia, and this is getting more and more tense as time goes by.
It really is. I'm looking at body language now. I'm looking to see who's communicating, who's the leaders, who looks tired.
It's a rather ambitious ball down the inside left channel towards Bojanin, but it skipped away from him and went behind. It's worth bearing in mind that Slovakia lost their second group game against Ukraine, but they haven't lost back-to-back internationals since September 2022, and they've been pretty solid this evening. 6 minutes plus stoppage time, that's all we have left in this contest. These teams edging towards the last 16.
I think that's what I've enjoyed the most about watching these two teams, is actually how they've defended as a unit.
Ball is loose for Dennis Mann. We haven't seen much of him so far since he came on. Had that little surge when he was first introduced, but it's been a bit quiet so far. But he made tracks down the right there for Romania, and he's won a throw down by the corner flag on the near side, the right, as we look at it in Slovakia's left back zone. It'll be Ratiu to take the throw. Finds Mann, cushions it back to Ratiu. Here he is, Mann trying to find some space, and can he get the ball in? Brilliant from Duda. Read the danger, slid in, hooked the ball behind for a corner, and then screams at the linesman. Presumably he wanted some kind of offside, but that was never going to come, and it is going to be a Romanian corner.
I think Mann must have heard you. Yeah, he's not doing anything, then all of a sudden he comes alive, nutmegs him and wins his team a corner. So yeah, you got him going.
I'll show you, Hachard. Whoever wins this group, by the way, would face a third place team. And whoever finishes third, of course, could play a range of opponents. They are making another change here, Romania. They're going to bring on Adrian Rush, who's a defender, really, and he's coming on for Razvan Marin. So that's a defensive change. Well, it's going to be a corner here for Romania on the near side, the right. Way towards the far post, that's poor. It was over the head of Puskás and over the head of pretty much everybody. And that's gone behind. Razvan Marin, a real Duracell bunny in that midfield area. He's put in another shift today.
Yeah, absolutely. Important goal. A goal that could potentially see his team through. Took the penalty really well, and he's had another terrific game. I think he's really impressed me this tournament. Consistent player there. Solid 7, 8 out of 10 every game.
Incidentally, if Belgium finish second, and that's what's happening at the moment, they'll take on France in the last 16, so it'll be a nice low-key affair. No superstars on board there.
God, big teams going out early in this tournament, isn't it? That's the case.
And that would be a good old battle between De Bruyne and Mbappe. Lukaku and Griezmann. Stars everywhere you look. But it's not done yet. Still goalless in that other game between Ukraine and Belgium. You can hear live commentary of the finale over on TalkSport, but with us on TalkSport 2, you're listening to Slovakia 1, Romania 1. Ondrej Duda gave Slovakia the first half lead, but Yanis Hadji won a penalty which Razvan Marin converted before the break. Two teams have pushed for a winner in this second half, but haven't had the requisite quality to nudge in front. That's a really poor ball by Ondrej Duda. Looked like a tired just swing of the boot, and then that's a really clumsy challenge by Puskás on Skriniar, and a yellow card for George Puskás. And even Tashdawi can't come to the aid of a fellow member of the Strikers Union there.
No, I can't, but I tell you what, since he's come on, he's really put himself about. You know, not always in the best way, but that's what you need to do. You need to, be a pest. That is a bit of a dangerous challenge. And yeah, he'll accept the yellow card there. But I'm just watching the coaches as well, Kevin. I tell you what, who'd want to be a coach and a manager? And they look like they're about to have a heart attack. It's so stressful, the amount of stress that they must be feeling, because they can't really control it. They're not on the pitch. They can't dictate how this game's going.
Not in your plans then, for coaching?
No, I've got my A licence, but no, just a striker-specific coach. Absolutely not a manager.
Yeah, it is certainly not for everyone, the head coach's role. So much pressure. And when players, step out of these major tournaments, got the hopes of a nation on your shoulders, haven't they?
Absolutely, yeah, and that's the life of a sports person, a footballer, and it's a fickle world to be in sometimes. 1 minute you're a superstar, the next minute you're forgotten about, and I think, the highs and lows of being a footballer, it's definitely a journey, put it that way.
Well, Skriniar's still down, he's just gingerly getting to his feet now, and the two sets of fans pretty happy at the moment. And that's because as things stand, with this point apiece, they would both go through. They knew that from the get-go, but even though there were suggestions that this might be something of a carve-up, it absolutely hasn't been. Teams have pushed for the win.
Do you know what I'm really intrigued to see? Maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes to go. Does anyone put the ball in the corner and do the old school holding it up? That is what I'm interested to see.
It would not surprise me. We're going to see a change for Slovakia. Norbert Djemba is going to come on. Salernitana player. He's not particularly attack-minded. I'm going to tell you that his last club goal was 5.5 years ago, and he's never scored an international goal. Just gives you an idea of the type of player he is.
Watch him get the winner.
Absolutely. I'll show you. Ball is just hooked into the corner, but there's no Slovakian player to receive it. And Florin Nita, the Romanian goalkeeper, did not move particularly quickly to go and collect it. And he's not moving particularly quickly to get back into his penalty area. And one wonders whether this entente cordiale has finally been reached, that these two teams will think, okay, we gave it a go, tried to get the win, but we're 3 minutes away from qualification. They know they're nearly there, and there's a roar all around the ground because the board just went up for 3 additional minutes, and that's all that separates Romania and Slovakia from the last 16. Romania as group winners, although the other game hasn't finished yet, so we could still have a late twist in that would change everything. But what it wouldn't change is the fact that a point's enough for these two. Referee has just got the yellow card out. Ondrej Duda is still down. He's the one who's been carded. Nobody's been given the yellow card that would keep them out the last 16, by the way, this afternoon yet.
And I can understand this a bit more now with 2 minutes to go. Wouldn't surprise me now if maybe they put this free kick into the corner and then they try and hold it up there. When I was saying earlier about it's dangerous playing for a draw maybe 20 minutes to go, that's too long. But with 2 minutes to go now, yes, be sensible. Get into the corner, get your big men in around there, hold it up, time waste, do what you've got to do.
Those changes are going to happen now. Matusz Bero, who plays his football in Germany with Bochum, he's going to come on for Duda. That's a straight change in midfield. And Chiemba is coming on as well. And he's coming on for Pekarik. So Pekarik's done his dash. Has not looked 37 at all. Energy and commitment. So a double change. And Romania do float it into the corner towards Puskás, who flicks it on. That'll go behind for a goal kick. We've got just over a minute left. And there is no urgency at all from these two. And frankly, why would there be? They are nearly there. Romania would qualify for the last 16 for the first time. They qualified for the knockout phase for the first time in 24 years. It was the quarters back then when they knocked out England. They ended up losing to Italy in the last day. There's another hurdle to pass these days. And Slovakia, having made the knockout phase in 2016, on the cusp of doing it again. 30 seconds to go. Who dares to try and break forwards? Here's Rachu in his own right-back zone. Nearly gave it away to Suslov, but he did actually. Suslov able to win it, and that's just banged into the fans on the near side. The midfielder Marius Marin of Romania hitting that as far as it would possibly go. So Romania would win the group. Slovakia would finish third. If you want to hear the final few seconds of Ukraine-Belgium, it's over on TalkSport. Here's Suslov down by the corner flag, trying to protect it. Romania showing very little interest in trying to steal the ball from him. And he wins the throw. Is there a late twist? Is there a late surprise? I doubt it, but you never know.
Not often you see this, do you?
Be a famous incident if it was. Here's Hansko, trying to go the long way around and runs out of room, and that gets a massive roar from the Romanian fans. Francesco Calzona checks his watch. Slovakia, as things stand, would qualify as one of the best third-place teams. Romania would win the group, but every team in Group B look as though they're going to finish with 4 points. Game between Ukraine and Belgium still going on, but that surely is getting towards the end. The Romanian subs are having a party already. They've got things started. This would be a landmark achievement. Nita smashes it long, it's all over, and it's joy all round